I'll let you have that. But they use the word guardrails, and I was telling Dr. Moncada yesterday, that's a good, I like that word just because if you think of guardrails on the highway, they keep you, they're designated to keep you on track and prevent accidents, so.
But everything that they have listed on there, we review them and that's pretty much what we have within our own,
So,
strategic plan.
Dr. Moncada, if you could just scroll down to the top 4 goals again. So, when I said transformation at the beginning, when you had, this is what I wanted to kind of start looking at as far as transforming our strategic plan to fit into something like this.
Okay. But you'd also go over the charter goals.
Oh, definitely.
With us too, that's
yes.
critical.
Yeah, so our charter goals are still gonna be reading, they're in the reading, but of course we have to tie one into our mission and vision, which would be the dual language bilingualism.
Perfect. That sounds
So
great.
early literacy, we already doing letters training, we've been doing all the head initiatives for mathematics, and we actually have applied this year for numerals for early grades, and then something about algebra with the middle school. So we have everybody working in different math trainings.
Curriculum and strategy. So yeah, it's just a little bit different from what we're accustomed to.
I like how they're tracking it in APS over time.
Yeah, it'll still give what we're, I think it's gonna be a good internal measurement for us. As you can see, we're feeling pretty confident. Just some of the designations they've given us lately. For example, with our 90-day plan, the schools that we're one of the schools that we still only have to do the math and reading goals. Most of the other schools that are designated.
It's very interesting because APS renew us under conditions.
Right.
When we renewed in 2020, but we have always had the designation of traditional, which doesn't even make us one of the private schools that are monitored under PED.
Right.
So I'm kind of always question that, because if we were to be a turnaround school, we would be one of those schools visited by the state.
And we'd have to do more with the
And more
90-day
with the
plans. And so on and so
But we don't have to this year.
forth. We haven't.
We haven't.
Good.
The whole renewal term, we have never been on those schools that need of improvement,
Okay. So I have a question for you.
according to the state and their guidelines.
Here is the updated strategic plan right here.
Okay.
But then you have those focus areas that you listed on the document in page 28. These, I thought we were going to narrow down to, are we going to include then, if there are focuses like on absenteeism here, are we going to include those 4 into here? Or when do we see like one comprehensive document about what you'll be focusing on for the year?
And I think that would be a great focus area on when we meet on like the 24th, because attendance is a really good point. We're way with the last 3 years and the work we've been doing with attendance. It's really, I mean, it's always going to be an issue, but we're really low as compared to state and district. So there's a bigger conversation, like, how do we monitor it, being that we're doing, is it a check-in, a monthly check-in, how are we doing on attendance? Or we're so low, I think we're at,
We're one of the best schools in the state as far as attendance goes.
We have improved. When you said we're low, I'm thinking, does that mean our attendance is low? Because I thought we made improvements last year.
The ones at risk we're no longer where we're.
But we still have a way to go. My larger question is that, how do you make those 4, when you list 4 focus areas on page 28, I keep referencing that because that was, and then you have this, and you have the charter goals. Like, what's that one document that you can we can see at a glance where we're going?
Something like that.
Yeah, I mean, anything like that. I mean, so that they'd all be together so we can look at what's going on in terms of the charter goals, this, and then the focus areas, because the focus areas that you list in documents are not, don't mesh with this.
I think our strategic plan that you're holding there is very detailed. So
Okay,
there's, basically what we have there is what APS has here under the breakdown of the different goals.
okay. So maybe you want to substitute the areas here and put that in the plan then? Because
So
to me, you've got three different things going on. It's okay to have two. You gotta have the charter goals that tie to the mission. But then to have our strategic plan goals that will lead to that and help improve all opportunities for students, you seem to have two different things going on. One, those focus areas in the document, and then you have this. Can we put something together that we have just one set of
Well,
goals?
This is just internal.
This is internal.
Okay.
Actually,
We don't
I
need
did
any of
ask,
that in the chart.
I asked
You
Dr.
don't?
Escobedo if we needed to include the old strategic plan and the revised one, and he said to
Okay,
leave that out
all
because it
right,
was internal.
all right, then we won't worry
So
about
this
that.
is something
part.
that we can work on.
It's just an internal, dipstick on how we're doing with all these different
Okay.
areas within.
Got it.
Yeah.
So
And that's what we'll go over with the charter goals.
So the strategic plan, there's
Okay.
portions of the strategic plan within the renewal. Because you recommend that we have some of that in there,
I
but
can
not to
definitely see.
include that whole thing.
Right.
It's one of those
Okay. I just was worried about
things that less is more.
goals. Yeah, I know, I would like to have less sports.
What he said is less is more, so.
Yeah.
Keep it brief, but don't give too much.
Agree. I agree.
That's what we did.
That's what I was gonna say, less is more, but also what can we communicate clearly to parents and the community that's not got a lot of educational objectives?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Discussion.
Any more discussion? And I'm discussing it here, Dr. Medina, myself, please. Then, do we have a student president here, council president?
Student council,
No, they
they just,
present next week
yeah.
because they just met, so
Yeah.
Ms. Paola will be presenting the community outreach report.
okay, so,
Okay.
please, yeah.
Okay.
All yours, Ms. Paola.
Can I use your screen,
Of course.
please, and thank you?
Can you connect? Oh, look at you.
Okay, please, you see, and then you can, maybe you can sit down.
I have a friend named Giovanni, and he helps me with
That would be, I'm sorry.
Déjame ver cómo
Can you share this with some electronic?
it's CAPS, so.
So we'll just have to transform it, maybe we can have like a session, we have a session with the 20th.
Yeah. At the treatment forms that we're gonna have a meeting, we go over our progress, like especially last year's.
Thank you.
That might be a good.
Can they see that in the Zoom too, or no? No?
Can you share it?
Oh, I can send it. Email it, or how do I?
It's best if you log in.
So.
I log in where? On camera.
We for sure will.
Why don't you email me that and then you'll open it from my email?
Okay.
That was in December.
But I think it's moved to.
No.
I have other things on my list.
Okay, let me know if it works.
Refresh.
You sure? Oh, wait, please. You sure? Well, because the
Where's
road.
that? Oh, it's still on mine.
Yours.
I did, I'll come in.
What did you, because I don't have Canvas. Or you did that on the study? That's right there, no?
Is that projecting to all the at-home people?
This one.
This one?
Send full screen. Ahí está.
Wait, that's still me, let me,
Or you,
there,
oh, that's me now?
That's me.
We'll go part of the way to get away from the highways.
Okay.
Okay, well, good afternoon. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Paola. I'm the Community Outreach and Marketing person here. And this is
Secretary someplace.
the what?
And secretary
And
someplace.
secretary and
Planning.
traffic and everything.
Duty manager.
But I'll make it quick. This is just for August through September, and I'll go through all of the things that are going on here, but the communication with parents, I did 28 robocalls and emails to parents between August 14th and September 17th. And that included anything from bus information. Oh, okay, sorry. So I'm on the third slide already.
Oh my goodness, you are quick. Okay. So.
It says 3 minutes.
There's a table of contents. We had our awards assemblies there.
Wait, third one. Yeah, right there.
Communication with parents.
So there was 28 robocalls and emails between August 14th and September 17th. And it included anything from bus information to picture day to no school, changes in pickup and drop off. Anything of that sort. And then our past school events, we had our August pause assembly, our newcomers night, our picture day, our isotopes educator appreciation night, and our Mexican Independence Day. I don't know why that picture is there, but sorry, you skipped one. No, the next one.
Oh my goodness.
Hold on.
I can send it to you. And then our upcoming events, we have our September pause assembly. We have literacy night tomorrow night. We have a math meet Saturday at UNM that 12 middle schoolers are going to be participating in. And then we have we were invited to the Governor's Mansion Carnival. So she's taking all K through 5th up to Santa Fe on October 15th. As a field trip. And then we have our Scholastic Book Fair in October, our Fall Festival, and then we're going to work on that for the other month.
No, settle.
And then our field trips, I have the same picture. Our field trips that are coming up, we have, or that already happened, were State Fair, K through 2nd. Sorry, I don't know what happened with that slide. But we had 4th grade that went to the Bosque, right? Or was it 5th grade? 5th grade went to the Bosque, and 4th grade went to the
San Isidro.
Casa San Isidro. Okay, sorry, go to the next one. I don't know what happened to that. And then for family engagement, we have our Abriendo Puertas with Miss Abigail. We have parents working on the garden. They cleaned it up already and it looks really nice. And then we have healthy relationships starting with Enlace Comunitario in October. And then we have a lot of parent chaperones during our field trips. And then for our community partners, we have Albuquerque Talent Development Academy, Enlace, Consulado, GBBQ, AT&T, Catholic Charities, United Way, and the list goes on and on and on.
And then you also made a relationship with Whataburger and.
Oh, yes, I didn't put them on there. So Whataburger, Starbucks, Panera,
Pizza night.
Einstein, Pizza 9.
So she got the kids a bunch of coupons for food.
What? Oh, yeah, 7 Brew. We have a lot of donations and there will be more. And then for the community events, I haven't been able to attend a lot of them, but I did Cafecito con la Comunidad at Consulado Mexicano. And then from there, we got a bunch of partners for our newcomers night. And then Ms. Abby and I went to the Rooted in Family and Guided by Community conference at Sandia last week. That was really nice. I got to see a lot of community school coordinators from APS. And then we also, Dr. Moncada went to the Fiesta Mexicana, El Grito, right? With El Consulado. You're looking at that face.
I still have a 7-year-old.
Yes, we invited families to that. And I think that's it, right? Is there anything else? Oh, so my goals for coming up is to work on our needs assessment, our assets map, and attend more community events to see if we can get more our enrollment, increase our enrollment. Yeah. Any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Paula.
So this problem will work with Casey in terms of like, we want to increase participation in school activities by 20%. Over the next 5 years, they'll be working together on that? Okay.
Yeah.
Good, we'll be expecting more of our reports.
Yeah, I think that's where all the robocalls and the emails and
Helps
all
out.
of that helps with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, she
Anyone have
takes-
questions?
She takes pictures. I don't have to take pictures
Oh.
anymore, Dr. Mama. She's doing that. In case he doesn't have to do robocalls anymore, she's been doing that.
Is there a job description?
Yes, there is.
Could you forward that or put that in the Google Drive? Thank you.
Of course.
Any questions for Paula? No? Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Dr. McCullough, you have 10 minutes.
So actually, between Casey and I will both take 10 minutes.
Even better.
Okay.
We can find the report here.
So yeah, we were doing the report together and Dr. Moncada had he stole a lot of the fire I was gonna have. So I said, well, I'll just add to yours and we'll do it together.
So Dr. Medina asked me to come up with a template for the executive director's report and to reach out to my colleagues. And I tried doing that, but I found out my principal's report that I've been doing for you for the last 5 years are much better than any of those other charter school reports, executive or principal reports. I review different meeting minutes and I send them to Isabel so she gets an idea of how they take their minutes. And then I also copy Dr. Medina on it. And it's almost embarrassing to see those reports from administration within those meeting minutes from those charter schools. So we came up with a plan, but we added part of the old plan. And Casey and I thought we would do it together, so I'll have him talk about student enrollment.
So student enrollment remains pretty steady. We're not seeing anything drastic either way. Keep in mind that our projection was 503, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So right now, and
For K8,
for K8,
pre-K was 72.
Right.
We're at 70 with pre-K and 500 and
518.
518 with K through 8.
Or 520.
520 with today. Yeah, we took 2 more in. We're supposed to take 2 more in tomorrow, I think, or Monday. But yeah, we continue to get new students. And that's not to say some of the ones that, we have to say goodbye to and find them a new school because there's different issues, usually behavior wise. We're trying to limit, students to so many discipline infractions before we kind of politely ask them to go find another school. And then in turn, it promotes our school because others will want to then come. So yeah, we've steadily been increasing over the last few weeks. We do have 40th day count October, October 8th. So we're gonna try to increase and get our numbers as high as we can. As most of you know, anything over 503 will get that differential probably in February, March, according to the SEG and the unit value.
So we're at 17 students over the projection. So we keep those students from until October 8th, we would get an additional amount of funding for and not for 17 students, which is a big thing for our budget.
Anywhere from what, 200,000 to 300,000 or so?
Our current one is looking at to be like 160.
Right.
160,000 based on the number of kids.
And then I did the red, so if you want to do the blue.
So, we are doing AVID, so I looked at the framework for AVID, and it's leadership systems, instruction, and culture, which is very similar to the 4 domains from Wested that we've been using for our strategic plan. So,
This is going on, Dr. Monahan, kind of what we had envisioned. Instead of the strategic plan, this is kind of the topics, the 4 topics we have on the top. It's very similar.
it's still the 4 domains for us. And so what I wanted to share is that we will be doing AVID for elementary. So we've been doing Gear Up and AVID for the last 5 years with Gear Up New Mexico. So we wrote a grant a while back with Albuquerque Talent Development and Christine Duncan for 7 through 12 Gear Up, and through Gear Up we were able to get the subscription for AVID. So our middle school has been doing AVID for the last 4 or 5 years, and we are now going to go down to elementary. So we'll be doing meetings we had a meeting with the AVID regional coordinator, who was a principal at Truman Middle School, and he just left Truman to take on that role. So he reached out to us, and he helped us get started with AVID. So that's under leadership. And then we have been working on the charter renewals, we included Building Hub on here in the reports on the Google Drive folder. I included this link for you to become familiar with AVID if you're not sure what AVID is. It stands for Advancement via Individual Determination, and it focuses on a framework for college and career readiness. There are a few AVID model schools in APS that we visited last year, and we'll continue to visit them this year.
Delta uses that. Delta High School?
AVID?
Yeah, do they?
AVID goes up to high school.
Yeah, but
Yes.
they use it. Did Delta have any more
They're
time
not
for the school there?
I'm not sure which high school
Okay.
is in APS. We went to Edward Gonzalez Elementary School, and we went to Truman Middle School last year. And then ATDA does high school. So just a quick update on the Educator Fellows Program. We lost Jordan Schmidicki. He moved to Texas. In his place, we put Claudia Saucedo, who is not too far away from finishing her bachelor's degree in education, and hire a new EA for pre-K to replace Claudia.
Just a quick note on staffing pattern, we're completely filled with all positions that we had available. The last position that we filled in was this past week for a custodian that we had a vacancy for, primarily due to our increased campus that we have now. We need more people to clean. For right now, the only thing we're taking is applications to create a substitute teacher bank. So that's kind of all we've got right now.
I have a question. Security wise, we just have
One full-time.
okay, are we planning on hiring another?
So-
Or not?
It's a very good question.
Porque, I mean, based on the students, I guess if it's increasing, then we would probably need a little bit more, right?
Eventually we will. Because right now she's on South
Although
Campus.
I
North
know I've
Campus.
seen her, and I'm like, well, if it's increasing, then
So we went from part-time last year to full-time this year. That's really,
And she's
it's really
She's
good.
new to the school and she's very good.
Yeah, you can see, o sea, los trae cortitos, which is good.
Yeah.
And then just very briefly on the teacher residence program, we have everybody officially registered for the program. Ms. Jana Verduzco resigned from the program, so I'm trying to get somebody else to go through Norton to fill that position. I've been working with Dr. Sandra Rodriguez from Norton Community College, Norton, New Mexico Community College, Norton, New Mexico College, sorry. And she
Yes, I was
actually,
gonna say, Northern New Mexico
Northern
College,
New
both a
Mexico
2-year and a 4-year.
so actually, Dr. Rodriguez called me today. She's in a training here in Albuquerque with the federal people from representing the federal program, the grant, and they actually did a shout out for Dr. Jesus Moncada at Christine Duncan Heritage Academy. I wasn't there, I wasn't invited, but she called me because she said she got very excited that they made that announcement and it was coming from somebody from the feds funding the teacher residence program. And she said she would send me the agenda so I could go by and so that they could meet me. But we do have 8 teacher residents, and I guess because we're working with different universities, my name got out there, so they did a shout out for us. So that's going well. Panorama, we met with them, we are working with them on the MLSS. They will honor the contract for the next years at 25K. We choose to go with them since we only did 1 year. So I just wanted to update you on that. On the systems, Ms. Weeks and I attended an APS charter leaders meeting with APS, and the main focus was I guess some members at APS, on the APS board, are trying to make changes to the charter school policy to decrease the number of charter schools coming to APS and perhaps even do a moratorium for charter schools within APS. So they've been doing a lot of discussions around that with public charter schools in Mexico and the charter schools in Albuquerque. And Dr. Escobedo put that on the agenda for our charter leaders meeting. And there were 6 questions that the APS board members are focusing on. So he wanted us to talk about each one of them, and we actually did a Google form for that. And I put on here my responses to those questions and see if there's anything you would like to contribute to that discussion. In talking to Matt Paul from Public Charter Schools New Mexico, he says that there's a high chance that they'll drop the issue, but it was on the discussion to put it on the agenda for the next meeting. He did ask if anybody wanted to volunteer to go in front of the APS board to talk about our experiences within the district when it comes to charter schools, and he asked for 3 volunteers, and I offered to be one of those 3 volunteers. He might call us, he might not call us, but I told him if he's going with you, I'm fine going with you, but I wasn't gonna go behind his back to talk about charter schools and the district. So that's that. If you have a better response to those questions, feel free to let me know and I'll communicate that to Dr. Escobedo. For instruction, we've done a lot of training around those grants that we received for CLSD.
You're gonna see a lot of mention of Karina in there. That's kind of just a new portal that we're using. That the teachers have a one-stop stop for anything from lead forms to field trip forms to even the nurse fills them out online. anyway, we did that and we worked, a couple of things, a couple of times with the Carina people to get it all in place, and the staff has really worked diligently to get all our forms electronically and placed in within the portal. We also we've been selected once again to be a model school for the La Cosecha conference. They usually come on the Wednesday prior to the conference, which I believe this year will be November 11th. So we'll host 25 to 30 educators, and then we'll let them tour around our campus. And then we have like a quick forum at the end of the like it'll end around 1 o'clock, and it's a Q&A forum. I think on my end, all I had, Dr. Moncada, was that we attended the State of the District with Superintendent Blakey on August 26th, if I'm not mistaken. So we were one of the few charter schools that I noticed were there, and it was just nice to kind of meet up and network with other public school, but there was a few charter schools. Oh, I put it in there. Okay, yeah. So I think that's it on.
Then this morning, I got a phone call from Matt Paul. He's the executive director for Public Charter Schools New Mexico. And he encouraged Kristen Duncan to apply for the Charter School of the Year as a possibility to be recognized. He says he doesn't guarantee that we would be the school selected, but he called me to encourage us as a school to apply. So we'll be doing that.
So one final note under the culture is that we've started doing, we've connected with South Valley Academy, 9th grade students. They're started their service learning, and it was good to have them here on the campus. They'll be here every Thursday from about 9 to noon. They started with 15 students, but I think we're gonna get more like 20 because there's a few teachers that wanted one that didn't get one. It's nice to see that 3 of them that came were our prior students from last year. So, and then our 8th graders are set to go to UNM September 24th as a part of a college visit through Europe.
And on a side note there, for our students who struggle with mental health, we are working with Pasha, and we decided to keep CDH. So we have 2 counseling agencies working with their students and their families. And I'm meeting next week with RGC in an effort to bring mariachi to our school.
We're just celebrating, what did we celebrate recently with RGC?
100 student contracts with CUEFI. So they reached their goal.
To bring mariachi, like a group of mariachis, or like to teach
Start the class.
kids
Start the
mariachis?
classes.
Okay.
Start the classes for our kids. RGC they work with a company that has the mariachi teachers, and they work with other schools to do that. But we want our own. So they're gonna help. They sent me an email very excited that they met their goal of 100 contracts, because that means that early childhood and care department will pay the service for RGC for our kids to be in the program here at the school. Instead of RGC paying, they charge the state for the money. So they sent me that email letting me know they were so excited about getting all those contracts. And I told them, so that means we can get mariachi at our school now. And then they said, we'll meet with you next week. Can you send me a couple options? So that's our report. Anything else, Casey?
Just one final note that we did bring Learners Chess to the school as part of RGC. They're here every Monday. They offer chess and chess lessons and chess competitions to anybody from 1st grade on up.
What's an after school program?
Yes, sir.
Do you have much participation today? Yeah.
We just began the sign up, but within a couple of days we had 8. I didn't check how many had enrolled. We're hoping to get 20 by 20 for a full class.
And then we're also incorporating, we were funded out of school time for after school programs this year, about 30,000. And we are doing academic and sports program on Fridays and Saturdays. And then or Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we're also doing a STEM program after school. So those two programs are in addition this year. After school.
Are there any questions for the governing council for Dr. Moncada or Mr. Benavides?
I just wanted to check in and ask how the reorganization work is going. It seems like you all have figured it out. Kudos to you for figuring out CEO and principal roles, but what's your sense of how it's going?
We're still learning, we're still in transition. We all jump in as needed.
Yeah, we just kind of share the role, but no, everything's going smooth. Hopefully, there's some areas that I see that Dr. Moncada sees that he's able to focus on more with some of the load he's been taking off. And I know certainly with Saida being hired on as the assistant principal, it takes some of that admin, the discipline roll off. So yeah, it's a learning in progress, but it's a good learning, if that makes sense.
Kyle has more of a challenge now because there's 3 of us on top of him.
All right.
Sir Manny, can we do this? Can we do that? Thank you, Kyle, for putting up with this.
Thank you. All right, I think we're at the point now, it's 6:16, and we're going to begin our discussion action items. The first of which is the budget update, which includes the PCTs, bars, vouchers, financials, and bank reconciliation. And Kyle.
I'll come over there so everyone can hear me appropriately. Thank you, Casey. Are you gonna give me your chair too?
You get the warm seat.
Oh man, I'm back. Good evening, everyone. So, wait, boss, where's your drive folder? Is this it? I found it. Hey. Oh, there it is. Perfect. Can everyone see the reports appropriately? Perfect. This is our packet for this month. As Sylvia had mentioned, we are still working on the August 31st bank reconciliation. We do have the July 31st reconciliation, which we did not have ready last month. The first 2 months, just because we have cash reports due, we're rolling over the general ledger. We always have just a lot to do with the reconciliation of the bank accounts, so they're always just a little bit delayed. But we do have July fully rec. We already provided that to the auditors. Look good there. We do actually have permanent cash transfers on the listing for today, which is PCTs and what they stand for. You've actually already approved 2 of these PCTs at prior meetings. However, we're redoing them just for minor changes. The first one is from Title III 24153 to operational for $17,082. This was an RFR from 3 or 4 years ago that was missed or an adjustment of some kind. K-12 actually had you guys vote on this cash transfer, provided it to PD. PD had a changeover of budget analyst or something. It didn't get sent to the budget supervisor, and I couldn't find a fully approved form before I was posting the adjusting journal entry. So I'm bringing it back to you guys now just so we can have Sarah Cordova, who's the new budget director, to sign off on it. The next one is from pre-K to operational. It's for another $1,700. This was actually from an adjustment from an RFR this year. Learning the APS flow-through process for the pre-K fund. I thought they would just allow us to replace expenditures if they were disapproved by PED, but they wanted us to actually issue a refund. So it was kind of my misunderstanding with the APS process. So we will issue that back to APS for $1,700. It was from our $600,000 fund, so it's not material. And so far, the auditors haven't asked me about it. And then the last one is another cash transfer that we did last year, and it is from a small Department of Health fund for $13,000. It was a fund that you guys got for COVID testing back 3 years ago. K-12 never set up the vendor stuff with flying colors in the Department of Health, and so reimbursement was never fully requested. When we first approved it, I tried to put it towards the Medicaid fund and operational instead of operational. PED doesn't like that. They like to keep permanent cash transfers going strictly to operational. So we're just redoing it going to the operational fund. Going down, we do have our cash liquidity. We did end August with $616,000. This year is definitely the hardest cash flow. Last year was hard. This year is even more scary. We've already completed 7 RFRs and we're continuing to complete them on a monthly, and we're probably going to move to a bi-weekly basis to keep our cash up because we're even delaying vendor payments, which I never want to do. But we're always trying to hold money for payroll while we wait for our lease assistance and our HB33 and our SB9 funds to all catch up through the ad valorem distributions. And as Sylvia had mentioned, the operational cash liquidity shows a 0. That's actually because if you divide something by nothing, it's undefined. So I just type in a 0 because Excel spits out a NA and a reference error if I leave it as a formula. And then on our right side, we do have our operational budget projections. Our operational budget for this year so far is almost $10 million. $1 million of it was from our budget of cash carryover that we brought in from this last year. So that means we have about $8.8 million of SEG right now budgeted. And we have $8.9 million in encumbrances and expenditures through operational. That includes every single contract we've issued, additional stipends for those contracts. It includes every single PO. And that shows that we're actually operating on a yearly budget or a yearly deficit of $70,000 because technically we'll only generate 8.8 and we'll spend 8.9 if we go up. However, these are very conservative numbers. These are numbers I'm providing to Dr. Makata on a weekly or a bi-weekly basis. And then I'm also going through our internal considerations down below. As Casey mentioned during the principal's report, at 40 day at October 8th, every kid over 503 we get additional funding for. The previous figure that I had done was 140,000. With the newest numbers they just talked about, it'd be closer to 160, 170. Teacher resident reimbursements are not in here yet. That would be $140,000. We do have some funds over encumbered, such as our pre-K budget is $800,000. We've spent $850,000, or after their benefits and other things are, that pre-K fund will probably expend by $60,000. Our Title I will probably over expend by a few thousand, and operational does have to catch all those over expenditures. And then, of course, we have over-encumbered POs for canteen, for all of our ancillary services like recreational therapy, occupational therapy, things we have to encumber a lot of funds for in case students need those services, but we don't actually have to use them until CES or ACES sends out that person to provide those services for that student.
I have a quick question. Your projection for the 40th day SEG, what number is that based on over that 503?
That was 515, I think, or 516.
Okay. So as that number grows above 516, we can probably expect even more than what he's projected right there. So we'll try to do our best to help him out and get near more 520 or 525.
And again, these are all very conservative numbers. When I give you guys these numbers, I give them the most conservative value that I can. We have a lot more in over encumbered POs, but there are sometimes things where we overexpend on expenses and stuff like that. And I don't want to give you guys an image that's not entirely accurate. Going down.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, continue. No.
We do actually have the cash transfer fund form that is submitted to PED. Gosh. It is all this. You guys will have your board approval date if you guys do vote on it, and then it is sent to the school budget bureau, and the senior manager will approve it. We do have our bank account reconciliation for July. In July, you can see that we took in $900,000 and we dispersed $2 million. That is through starting our new payrolls, paying for diverse development, had a $500,000 tab up there. We had 2 months of leases due because the automatic payments got stuck there somewhere. We had our NIMSIA risk deposit due, which is our liability insurance for the entire year, have to be paid. We have a bunch of upfront bills that we typically have to front, and then we're still waiting on reimbursements all the way until October, November for some of them. Going down, we do have the outstanding check report. We do have one check noted on here that is technically stale dated as of this, is 7/23 for Mrs. Cron. Mrs. Cron is a former employee though, and she did leave the school on good terms, so we did try and give her a chance to reclaim this check before I fully stale dated it, because that is a valid reimbursement that was owed to her. Going down to the actual bank account reconciliation, the actual GL looks very different for just July, just because we have our beginning balances 0, and then we actually roll over our general ledger from 6/30 to 7/1, and it appears on the report as a interesting entry, but it still clears and there's a 0 difference. And then the actual bank account statement, so you guys can check all the entries on there. You can see what check numbers relate to which vendor payments were made, and make sure that we're not putting any odd statements or items within the bank reconciliation or the system. Overall, that's all I have for the reports. We do need a vote to adopt the bank reconciliation and the permanent cash transfers. And I stand for any questions or concerns.
One question I have.
Yes, sir.
Cal, do you think that the operational cash liquidity stands now at, not the operational, the total cash liquidity is 1.20? Do you anticipate that it will go lower than that anytime this year?
Yes. So actually, as we've recalculated our September, we will probably end right around there, $500,000 or $600,000 in the bank, and our monthly expenditures is closer to 600,000 than that prior 500,000 figure. So we're going to be dipping and hanging out at right at 1 for the next 2-3 months foreseeably.
Until November, December, when it will start to be reimbursed for some of those RFs?
Yeah, so what happens, the big 3 reimbursements that we're waiting on is our lease assistance, which the PSFA does not need to approve those applications until October. So we get our award in November, and then I can issue 2 RFRs immediately for the first and second quarter, and that'll be $200,000 in that one. And then the other one is the HB 33 and the SB 9 funds. We get those right in December and January for when all the escrow accounts pay out those property taxes.
Okay, so it will go lower. The percentage of the budget that's available, that's anticipated, is 11%. Do you know where can you project where we're gonna be in July or June of next year?
So that is why I like to give this projected op surplus. This 67,000, this is a new figure. So
Okay,
that is basically how our budget runs on a yearly basis. We're taking in 8.8 from SEG, and we would be expending 8.9. So technically, we would be at negative 0.8%. I think that would be if we were looking at just a yearly stand basis, because that does include all the summer payrolls. It includes pretty much everything that we know of by now, including all the change orders and the stuff remaining for the summer projects.
so you think it's gonna end up being the carryover minus 67,000
That's what it's projected, but it's going to increase.
increase?
Yeah, because we do have a lot of these other things And like I said, a lot of these other numbers are that. And I do want to say that our carryover was over $900,000 this year. So even if we were to eat into it by $50,000 or $100,000 and we drop down to $800,000, $800,000 of a $9 million budget is right at 8%, I think. And APS actually wants us to be only at 8 to maybe 15% cash balance in operational cash. And so we don't want to grow it a huge amount and stuff like that. They want us to mostly be utilizing it on a zero budget basis until we can build up cash balance if we have a big project coming up. And also to speak to that, like last year, we thought we were going to end with $1 million in cash carryover. We actually only carried over 960,000. So we actually carried over even less, but we also paid for $300,000 of construction out of our operational fund, which is not a usual thing. You know, we would have carried over a lot more money and stuff. This is us having a lot of EAs extra and stuff like that. If you truly were really concerned, or if we thought we were going to eat through our entire cash balance, you know, we'd be having much different conversations about RIFs and other things like that. But
Okay. So last question.
yes, sir.
Last one.
No. Keep going. I love it.
No. We have to get this. Liquidity is 1.20. Based on your projection of a deficit in the projected out surplus, what do you think the liquidity will be in June of 26?
So this is just, the right side is just operational. It does not include all of our capital funds and other things like that. Our total cash liquidity should be closer to 2.3.
Okay.
Our operational cash liquidity should be restored to about 1.2, 1.3-ish.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for governing council members? Okay. If not, I'm going to pull up my agenda and ask for a motion for approval or disapproval of the vouchers and financials for this meeting submitted by Mr. Kyle Hunt.
Why did the camera zoom on my face?
Bueller?
Oh,
his camera. It's like a dynamic one.
I move to accept the financials and approve as reported.
Thank you, Dr. Medina. Dr. Medina's motion for approval of the BAR's financial and vouchers. Is there a second? Sylvia, I've already knew, has seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay. Dr. Barbara Medina?
Yes.
Edward Monahan, yes. Ms. Sylvia?
yes.
Alex Alvarez? Ms. Alex?
I do not see her up there.
Elmer Garcia? Mr. Ramirez Chever? Pamela Tagastego?
Yes.
And Timothy Woodward?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Perfect.
B. Thank
Dr.
you, Kyle.
Monahan, we do have item B, which is our assets inventory. This is just a yearly vote. Oh, that was not in here. It is just our assets inventory. You just sent that to Marina. right?
We received the policy. Right?
Yes. Let me pull this up real quick. Okay. We do have our asset inventory list, so Mr. Gio recently did work very hard over the summer for digitizing all of our asset inventories, and as you can see, he does have, it's covered by our Zoom right now. There's a bunch of different things where it lists out our assets in total, but basically we ask teachers at the end of the year to do a checklist that includes them checking all their Chromebooks, all their cabinets and other things in their classrooms to make sure that we are keeping school resources at the school and not improperly disposing of any items. So our asset inventory from all of those teachers now digitized, and you guys do certify this yearly after we do take the inventory.
I didn't download this. This was in the Google Drive?
This was not proper. And we lost, or we are locating the hand forms that we use to digitize everything because the teachers turn in hand signed forms.
Okay.
But we do have this.
So we have a spreadsheet.
It's more like a pivot table. It's a
Okay.
full export from like the inventory system that we use.
Okay.
Oh. Paste that file in there. I don't like Macs. Yes.
Is it critical to accept this one at this meeting?
No, we've already turned in, like I said, we've already done the inventorying. This is just you guys stating that you've seen the inventory, that you're aware that we've done it. Trying to upload it to the drive folder, that's all. I did. Perfect. Perfect. So, I mean, you guys are more than welcome to table this one, I think. It's not, CLA isn't pushing for it, yeah.
Yeah, this is something that we normally do each year that we approve, but it's, the only thing is that we haven't seen it yet.
We can table it and then you can study it over the next item.
Yeah, and have it put in the Google Drive for the next meeting.
Yes.
Do we need to make a motion? I think probably, do we have a motion to table the assets inventory for the October meeting? I'll move to,
So moved to table.
okay, thank you, Dr. Medina. Dr. Medina has moved to table the assets inventory to the October 25 meeting. I'll second it. Any discussion? Dr. Medina?
Yes.
Dr. Monahan, yes. Ms. Sylvia? What's that? Building.
Just that.
Alex?
Yes.
Ellen Garcia? Doris Chavert? Ms. Pamela Tagliafico?
Yes.
And Mr. Timothy Woodward? Tim?
Yes.
Okay, so we have Tim, Pamela,
Naomi just said
So
yes
Andy?
as well.
what's she say here? Barbara, myself, and we just need Sylvia for 5, right?
You already have five.
We do have her?
No.
No, you had no.
Me,
You,
Me?
Dr.
Dr.
Medina,
Medina,
Tim,
Tim.
and Pam.
So we have 4.
And no one.
And
Naomi.
Naomi?
Yeah,
Oh,
she
said
did
no.
speak up. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, great.
She did
We have
confirm
5.
yes.
All right,
And then
motion
Sylvia
passes.
said yes right before the meeting.
Sylvia said yes right before the meeting.
All right. Thank you. Motion passes, table till October.
I have now item C in front of you, Dr. Monahan, on the
Yes.
screen. This is for our bulk purchase policy. Recently, the Governmental Accounting Standards Board released another new policy for bulk purchases of small assets. According to New Mexico state law, we have to capitalize assets over $5,000. So smart boards, TVs, equipment, other things that cost over $5,000 for a single item. We have to capitalize and track as a part of a depreciation table that we submit to the auditors, to the Office of the State Auditor, and to other stakeholders. Recently now, we have to do it if we buy a bunch of computers. Say we buy 50 laptops for all of our teachers, we would now have to capitalize that entire purchase. And even though those computers are worth $1,000 a piece, since the bulk purchase was over $5,000, they are now treated as a sole asset. A few things that this does keep us from capitalizing is these things have to be good for over 3 years, for a useful life of exceeding 3 years. That means we will not ever capitalize Chromebooks or other student supplies, anything that they're going to run through on a yearly or a bi-yearly basis. And again, our max bulk purchase is $50,000. So we'd have to buy a lot of one singular item to actually hit this. It's not really going to affect me in any kind of financial capacity. It will, we're going to continue tracking our fixed assets, pretty much the same thing. I do just have to be aware if we do a larger order in the next few years.
Thank you. Is there any question that any from the governing council will have for Kyle regarding this bulk purchase policy?
We have to have motions before we have discussion.
Oh, thank you.
So I would move to accept the policy.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, thanks. Would anyone like to motion for approval or disapproval of the adoption of the bulk purchase policy?
If it's a policy, then they would require board approval.
Thank you. So is there a motion for approval or disapproval of the policy?
I just made the motion to approve
Oh,
the
you
new
made the
policy
motion.
as recommended
Thank
by
you.
the financial officer.
Thank you, Dr. Is there a second for that motion?
I'll second.
Thank you. Pamela has seconded the motion. Is there any discussion? If given no discussion, we'll have a roll call. Dr. Barbara Medina,
Yes,
Laura Monahan, yes. Sylvia Faradiga,
I'll abstain.
abstain. Alex Alvarez. Ella Garcia. Noemi Shabari. Thank you, Noemi. Pamela Tagestingo
Yes.
and Timothy Woodward.
Yes.
Thank you. We have adopted the travel policy B.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Kyle. Our next item, E, and it's 642, is approval or D, approval or disapproval of CDHA travel policy. Did I miss this policy in the Google Drive?
So we already have a travel policy that is aligned, but I believe the purpose of, or the original thought behind this item was to make sure everyone was aware of the flow chart and how the travel policy should go. All school employees currently find approval through Dr. Moncada as we normally do. But in Dr. Moncada's case, as he's the executive director and doesn't have a direct supervisor, he has to seek your guys' approval. And then Dr. Moncada is not able to approve international travel for employees. That is a request that has to go to you guys as well. So we've been talking about flow charts and other things. So I think it was just, we want to clean up and present a flow chart that will delineate that travel policy a little bit more. But I have not gotten to that. So I think this would be best to table it again unless Dr. Medina, you had any.
She sent us a sample.
She sent us a sample and I just had not fully adopted it.
Right.
It's pretty much same across the state in all entities, but
And
it's nice to have it on.
And it's already part of our internal budget procedures.
Correct.
I'm sorry, I'm just gonna ask, you
I moved
mentioned
to table.
international travel?
International travel. Like if we were to send Dr. Moncada to Europe, to Spain to learn
Okay.
some type of cultural thing, you know, he would still have to seek your approval beforehand.
The school did pay my reimbursement when I traveled to Spain.
I move to table.
Thank you. Dr. Medina has moved to table this, the travel policy motion. Is there a second? I'll second. And let's have a roll call on tabling this motion. Dr. Medina?
Yes.
Everybody here? Yes. Sylvia?
Yeah.
Alex? Alvarez? Elmer Garcia? Nomi Chavez? Nomi?
Naomi, I think she said yes.
Pablo Tagasteco?
Yes.
And Timothy Woodward? Okay, motion passes. All right, next one we have the letter E, approval or disapproval of adding high school to our charter. And it's by Dr. Barbara Medina, but I was thinking it's probably by you to do that.
So I wanted, I'm
Go
sorry, I wanted to make it official, so I put it on the agenda. APS is recommending that we add high school upon renewal, but to take a whole year of planning, the 26-27, the first year within our new renewal, to plan and then start slowly with ninth grade in 27-28 school year. So by year 5 of the renewal, we would be up to 12th grade. And then when we saw the proposal from Building Hope, we noticed that we are gonna have competition next door. So it's in our best interest to add high school so that our students stay with us and they don't go to Cruz and Sequoia to the new school. So there's those two things. Plus, we want our own kids to grow with us and see them graduate. To see the lifelong learning.
I
of the
would love
first
to
school.
see it grow into a high school. I definitely do.
And all the
We
teachers
have
are
3
on
years,
board.
3 years. Once my daughter hits 9th grade, she can be the first one. 3 years to build it.
3 years. So that's our recommendation from APS, Dr. Escobedo, when we met with him in the check-in.
And the background information you provided is the document for the
Yeah.
plans for the next charter term, which explains in a 2-page document, information on what that high school could look like. But also in the,
Let me see.
in the charter school renewal, you provided specific targets for
So we did
for the expansion, right?
so after we met with APS, we revised this section right here and it's in the drive. As the plan, like what I just said. He recommended that we focus on a few items, not on too many items. And it was funny that he was saying that because we had talked about that and we decided to do a dual language and STEM type of high school.
Should we have a motion then, and then we should have a discussion? That,
We've been doing that a lot this evening. There has to be a motion
Yeah.
based on the agenda
let's
item.
do that.
Then after the motion, then there's
Yeah, okay.
discussion.
Thank you. So,
So I would move, I'll let someone else make the motion to approve the agenda item and then discussion can happen.
okay. So I'm gonna ask for a motion for approval or disapproval of CDHA to expand to adding the high school to our charter school.
It would in turn be 2028 school year?
So 2027, 2028 with ninth grade stuff there. So the year 1 of the renewal is school year 26, 27. So that would become our planning year.
Uh-huh.
So we're not adding any students in the high school. Year 27, 28, that will be our ninth grade with 81 students. So all our 8th graders will be welcome into the high school at that time. And then they will go on to 10th grade the following year and 11th grade the following year and then 12th grade. So by 31, we would be graduating our first Christine Duncan senior class.
All right, so thank you for that explanation. Now, will we have a motion for approval or disapproval of adding high school to the charter at CDHA? Sylvia has moved to approve it,
I'll second.
and Pamela has seconded that motion. Now, I'd like to open it up to discussion.
I just want to say PS was very thrilled about that idea because there's not a lot of bilingual high schools that do the work that we do with our kids pre-K through 8. We would be one of the few schools in the state to have a pre-K 12 dual language school.
It's very different from our first impression from him last year when he visited,
Right?
when he recommended that we would not do this. So they've changed their minds.
They actually encourage us to do that.
And it's because we would be a unique charter school
Yes.
because we would offer bilingual instruction, correct?
Correct.
So I have a question. I have a few. One is that, thank you for the background in both the charter renewal application and this two-pager. It seems like we're ready to offer a lot for a smaller amount of students each year.
And this is a draft, of course, because
Okay,
this is just our overview and our idea,
okay,
but we would take a whole year to plan.
to study it. So you're thinking of dual credit, offering AP and pre-AP courses, and then meet all the requirements of the state. And then I have, down the line, I guess I'll ask the questions about the types of, there's two types of graduation documents that students may receive, and I need to understand something about that. But before all that happens, and we vote on this today, have we project maybe 81 students, you think, within a couple of years? When we came up with 81 students, is that based upon current numbers, or is it based upon any information about, have we sampled parents and students to see if they would stay here, or if they would go to another high school? How certain are we that we would be able to beat those enrollment numbers?
We've surveyed the parents at some of our family nights, and overwhelmingly they want a high school to appear. The 81 is also based on, as you know, right now we're up to 5th grade at 3 classes of each. Those keep rolling over. So come, I believe, this year that he's projecting will be 3 grade levels and everything all the way up to 8th grade. So, which would mean about 27 students in each grade, in 8th grade, 3 classes of 27 in 8th grade, and that's where we're getting our 81 that roll over. So we're hoping that
So we would have 8 students in the 8th grade in school year 26-27, which is why they would just stay and go on with us in the 9th grade.
Based on the overwhelming response in your parent meetings that you talk with parents, they are
Certainly.
very interested in keeping their children.
And all our staff last year was in agreement except 4,
Okay.
and some of those are no longer here.
And then some of those boards said they will be okay if
If
we
we-
have a different building for.
I
Oh,
agree
yeah.
conceptually, but I'm not
Then-
gonna vote in favor till I see a plan in writing.
So this is the plan that we have. We have a whole year to plan.
So Dr. Medina, going on what you just mentioned, are you willing to approve tonight with the condition that you fully approve sometime next year when you see the fully developed plan, or?
Yes, I'd be willing to concede that.
Okay.
And if we are voting tonight on the charter renewal application,
So this will be
this is
included.
part of that.
Correct.
I mean, I'm not sure why it's separate, because, well, it's
It's
good
not.
to just have a discussion. Maybe we just include this as an amendment within the, discussion of the charter renewal, because this is part of that.
This is part of the renewal, but I wanted we still have time to remove it from the renewal before we submit it to APS.
Oh, okay.
So that's why
Alright.
it's on here. I don't wanna do anything without your approval. And this is a huge milestone for our school.
My major concern is just being able to have the numbers to be able to support it. And if you've done the legwork, the research in meeting with parents and you're sure of being able to reach 81 and to have the sufficient numbers of students to qualify, and to be able to support teachers and learning ninth grade, then you have my support. As long as we've done that research,
All the stakeholders are in agreement with us moving forward with
Okay.
it. APS recommended we hold off a year and do planning that year, so we don't jump into it. And
Well,
during that
There's
time,
no jumping. You have to hire faculty who can teach
Right.
bilingually at the secondary level, who are secondary licensed.
Correct.
You have to adopt curriculum that's appropriate to secondary and meets the state standards. I don't even think a year is big enough. I've opened high schools before and I'm just really wary of this, but I will go with it conceptually, but I do want to see more defined planning.
we have over a year and a half now.
Correct.
From this meeting forward,
yes.
to be able to flesh out this 2-pager to really determine the curriculum that's in it, then how many teachers you need to hire, to have an in-depth plan.
Correct. And because it's a charter school and there's a lot of autonomy, we can decide if mariachi is going to replace this elective or that elective.
Okay.
So
Most
those are
of
the
our-
things we need to look at. Dr. Escobedo highly recommended that
Yeah.
we look at how ballet folklorico can replace an elective and how mariachi can reflect an elective. And he also invited us to look into his radio station where he works and
I saw
have our
that.
students be there as interns to learn about broadcasting and journalism.
And then I'll add in that a lot of our middle school teachers are already certified to teach high school. I know English, Spanish teachers, science teachers, math teachers. I think we're pretty well covered already. So
And I have 8 teacher residents
yeah, we're growing our own as well. So
and they fellows.
I think part of this does go along with the charter renewal, in that Dr. Escobedo recommended that we seek a cap of 1,000 students up to the 2031, the end of this next charter renewal, just so that we'd rather have more space than not enough as far as the cap goes. I don't know, Dr. Medina, would you like to make a motion according to what your thoughts were regarding the, do we have a motion?
We have a motion already from Sophia,
Oh.
second says Kev.
We have a motion on the floor. I
Okay.
guess it's on the record, my concerns, so I'm fine with that.
Okay. So the motion was just plain to approve.
Conceptually, yes.
Well, the motion on the floor was just to approve. Do you
Right.
do you want to amend the motion?
No,
Okay.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion about the high school being added to CDHA?
I think it'll be exciting news for our parents in our community.
If not, we'll go ahead to a roll call. Dr. Medina,
yes,
Dr. Monahan? Yes. Ms. Sylvia Ferradino?
Yes.
Ms. Alex Alvarez? Ms. Silva Garcia? Ms. Duane Chevet? Thank you. Mrs. Pablo Tancastengo?
Yes.
And Mr. Tim Woodard?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes. Congratulations, staff, for putting this together, and we'll look forward to plans that'll be, developed and fleshed out in terms of how it would be operationalized. Now, approval or disapproval of charter school renewal, letter F. Dr. Moncada.
So in the drive documents, we put the charter school renewal. Maybe not. So we did a PDF file.
You added Tuesday?
Oh, I just have to word that. Sorry.
So we did a PDF file. There's the one with the one we've been working on with all the comments on the site. We haven't taken those out, but we have the table of contents. And CIDA did something really cool. So if you click on part 6 right there, like certificate of occupancy, it takes you straight to where the certificate of occupancy is.
I guess my question, Dr. Medina, Dr. Monahan, you guys have been very close in working with the charter renewal. You've probably gone through it various times. You've seen it grow. We've also had it vetted by the APS,
Charter school office.
Charter School Office. Dr. Escobedo was here. Kristen was here the other day. They praised us with the progress we've made, and they didn't really encourage too many changes from what we had. We've kind of tweaked it minor from from what we met. I mean, just to in the spirit of time and what time it is already, we're bumping 7 o'clock. I think it might be a little more beneficial to kind of get your perspectives and then see if there's any questions rather than going page by page, but it's all up to you guys.
I agree.
So we did make some binders if you want to
Some paper copies.
review or take a paper copy. I know we are in a different era and we want everything electronically and with links. But APS did ask me for binders, and I didn't want to make a lot of copies because,
I'll make them.
so we can make you a copy. If you want one. It has all the attachments.
If you don't want it, let us know, and you can just want it digitally, because we can use it for the charter renewal staff as well. That comes over.
Because APS did ask for 8 copies in binders and 8 USBs. So we've been working on that, ordering binders and doing that. But I didn't want to make 8 copies yet until we have the final approval and it's good to go.
Thank you, Dr. Moncada, Mr. Benavides. Before having any discussion, we're gonna make sure we do this right, and I'm gonna ask for this motion for approval or disapproval of the
And
2025 renewal application, charter renewal application.
we kept the comments in here, but we'll delete
Yeah,
them
of course, you'll,
after
no
tonight.
worries. I'll talk about that later.
All right, we've heard Dr. Monahan's recommendation. Do I have a motion?
There is a Google form we have to sign off on, or Dr. Medina will have to sign off on.
Sylvia moves to approve. She's talking quietly, so not.
Yeah, I do this. Thank you, Sylvia. I'm sorry. Sorry. I had allergies.
She's not wanting to-
Sylvia has motion for approval of the renewal application. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. There's a second. Okay,
So it's Tim.
we're gonna go, yeah, it was. We will have a discussion now before we vote on it. I'll start off. Thank you for Dr. McConnell and Ms. Benavides for keeping this transparent and sending it out to board members. We've been able to at least 3 or 4 times be able to comment on the information in there. And it's been nice to be able to see the thought process and how it was organized. And I appreciate you keeping the comments in there. That way we can see our comments over time and how you're responding to them, to be as transparent as possible. I like the idea that you've got your background documents, because a lot of times in here we're citing increases or decreases, whether it be an achievement, everything else. And it's good to have those backup documents, and you have provided them now in Independence. So I appreciate the hard work that you and your staff put into this. And that's all I've got to say. Are there any governing council members that would like to comment on the charter renewal? Going once? It's getting late. Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Morales, for being here tonight.
Thank you. All right, if that's all the discussion, then we're gonna go ahead with there's been a motion to second on the floor, actually accepted. I'll do a roll call. Dr. Barbara Medina,
Yes.
Aaron Monahan, yes. Sylvia Fernandez, Alex Alvarez, Ella Garcia, Noemi Chavert. Chavert. Thank you, Noemi. Pamela Tagastigo
Yes.
and Timothy Woodard.
Yes.
Motion passes. Letter G.
First time I'll submit a renewal before the deadline.
Perfect. Very good. Approval or disapproval of salary increase for executive director for 25-26. This is deemed to be at this meeting. We broke this out from last meeting in August. Okay, go ahead.
Dr. Moncada, you want to share, do we want to share that summary / comparison that I made, or do you want me to just lead off?
Is there any background
Yes.
information?
Move
This
to
is-
approve.
Yes, there.
There is. Okay, wasn't there on
Oh,
Sunday?
was it not there?
It was not there on
I'll put that
Sunday.
one. Oh,
Dr. Medina just moved to approve.
Can we have some introduction first then?
Go ahead, Kyle, do you want to?
so as I had brought to you guys, back in April and May, when we first started doing our budget for this year, I'm not gonna name names, Miss Brambila moved from our instructional staff to our 210 contracts. And in doing so, when we extrapolated it out her daily rate or her hourly rate to the 210, it showed a huge portion of the admin for their contract days was underpaid. Casey was given a 15% raise, and he's just barely over what the new APS salary ranges are for principals and stuff like that. Compared to,
The one you want?
yes, yeah. Compared to, oh, no, not this one. The other one that I showed you about the other schools. Compared to executive directors across other similarly performing charter schools. We have such things such as Albuquerque Charter Academy. What was the other one? ACES. Then where's Todd at? That's NMIS.
International.
New America School Las Cruces, several of them have executive director salaries much higher than ours, like $20,000-$30,000 higher, with half the budget and about a third of the staff, except for in cases of Albuquerque School of Excellence. They have a very similar budget, but they have 5 principals, I think. MAS is an outlier just because of it being virtual and them having the biggest charter school budget, but Joanne makes 200K and she has 7 principals and stuff like that. My overall point though is we have done such a great job of rewarding our lower end staff that when we moved Syra to administrative staff, it really did shine a light on how we had been neglecting some of our other administrators. When I first came in, we started pushing some of our SPED director and our instructional coach to higher salaries. And I've advocated for Dr. Mercado, but he's stayed pretty much within the line of the 3 or 4% that we've been mandated. And I truly personally feel that it's not appropriate for him or Casey with the amount of time they actually spend at the school. Dr. Mercado's on a 220-day contract and Casey's on a 210-day contract. They both have this internal expectation amongst themselves that one of them is here every day regardless of what's going on. And if something tragic happens at school, they are the ones that are available and they are the ones that come. I would like them to be recognized for them working all these additional days because they will never claim those extra contract hours off tag. I personally think it'd be easiest for you guys to add discretionary days to both contracts, with however you guys feel, because Dr. Moncada doesn't work 220 days. Casey does not work 210 days for the school year. They were given a job and they're just gonna do that job until it's done. Syra, Miss Weeks, they all show very similar attitudes and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, we're not the ones fully responsible for when things happen at the school. And I gave you guys some comparison numbers back in May, and then I do have a secondary one that I've been working on that I can show, but I did want to get this guy or these thoughts back on your mind because I know we talked about tight budgets and everything like that, but really $10,000 for the school, that's nothing. We are going to recover that deficit within a very easy amount. $5,000 to one family is a lot.
I was looking at the executive director from Albuquerque Charter Academy, which is a high school that has 1/4 of our students. It has half of our school budget. And he started after I did as the principal there, not as the executive director. And he makes nearly $180,000.
We have the executive director at New America School Las Cruces. Obviously, that's Las Cruces, but it's a bilingual high school. She has been the director there for maybe 10 years, I think. I think a little bit less when they started the New America Network. I think she was at 160 something too.
It was 175.
175, yeah. Yeah, Todd was at
170.
Yeah.
And that's a very similar school to ours. Size-wise.
Less kids, less budget.
And there's also an FTE comparison on some of ours too. We have 120 FTE this year compared to most of these schools have under 70 or 80. I think NMIS has about 90 this year. And what's the other one? New America School only has 30 maybe.
Yeah.
Albuquerque Charter Academy's at 40 something.
We're gonna be, size-wise, in person, we'll be in the top 5 schools probably by the end of this year.
Absolutely.
This is all, okay, I want to just.
No, I know, yeah.
I'm gonna ask a question here, because first of all, there's a lot of great anecdotal data.
No,
Well,
I
I come back to it, we don't have any background information, the Google Drive for
Oh,
this
yeah.
decision.
And like I said, I don't know if either of them were expecting a motion tonight, but I did want to put this guy out on your guys' radar again. I will have more comparison stats, like I sent out in May and June. We've already started that.
I can walk up tomorrow and make
If it's
30,000
possible.
more.
This is how, I mean, this is what I'm used to it. I've been the administrator, I've been the chair for many years, is that we need to have a recommendation for salaries that are based on fair compensation in a comparison, which you have provided anecdotally. But we need to see a specific recommendation, is my recommendation. We need to see specific recommendation for administrative staff for salary increases. And we need to see background information to explain why those are justified. And I think based on that, we can make an informed decision.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And like I said, we do have, I have started compiling that stuff.
Okay.
And I
Kyle,
just wanted to.
just for, I'll be the elephant in the room.
Yeah, go ahead.
Elephant in the china.
In the closet.
What's your proposal?
My proposal is to add 10 days to both Dr. Moncada and Casey's contracts. Bring Dr. Moncada's to a 230-day contract and Casey's to a 220-day. Everyone else serves on a 210. The condition would be that those days are discretionary, meaning they are not technically required to be at the school. It's not aligned to our 210 calendar, but it is considered a work day because they work from home, they work from Wyoming or Nebraska every year that you go to.
Wouldn't that even include like
that's
all
not
the
a
times
raise,
that we
though.
have like
That's
emergencies
just
with
compensating
when
you
have
for
it
your work.
Yeah.
with the,
I thought this was gonna be a raise.
No.
with the sewer.
Well, then
pumping
it's
and
not a
everything
raise.
else.
Well, it's just compensating you for the other time you put in
I
the
mean,
job.
in one sense, it's
People
not a
would
raise,
view
but
it as a raise.
in another sense, it's what you're saying, it's rewarding us for our work. But we're here regardless. You can do a 300 calendar day and we're still here.
Can I recommend that we make a comprehensive, I say get together, all of you, and make a comprehensive recommendation and cite your rationale for it. If it's a raise or if it is just compensation for the extra days that you're putting in, determine if it's both or either one of those. And then provide that information in the Google Drive. Let us be able to read it beforehand, and then we can vote on it. That's so good.
Just a little bit more discussion. Have you figured out the figures of what that would, using daily rates on both, what that would take them up to?
Take him up to?
Mhm.
Even with that, at 10 additional days, it is 167, which would be much lower than some of the other executive directors in my comparison report.
So I guess, so is there a motion on the floor or?
I don't know if there was.
There was no technical motion. I wanted to present
Okay.
the background information and stuff like that. So if you guys want to table it until we have a thing, I think that would be
Well,
the.
because we,
No,
when we
absolutely.
see
I mean,
this
you
on the
obviously have
agenda,
to see the
it
stats.
says that it's a raise, but then it doesn't sound like a raise. But we don't have a specific raise or anything written down specifically. What I like to see is something written down with a rationale behind it, so that we could be informed before our vote.
So Dr. Monahan, would you prefer just a straight raise to whatever he's?
Oh, I'm not
coming
even
to,
making a
or-
recommendation.
No, but when we table it, we're gonna table it tonight, but then, when we bring it back to the table, would you prefer it just as a straight for 220 days at this amount, or would you, would you be more inclined to go with Kyle's, 10-day?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
So here's my personal recommendation. I don't have a preference on how many days and what type of raise or what type of, compensation you're gonna receive at all. What my preference is a process that we follow. My preference is that if you're going to recommend either a raise or extra compensation for days that are being worked, then sit down with Dr. McConnell and Mr. Benavides, look at what they are doing right now, do a comparison, get a comparison set of data from other charter school leaders or APS leaders, and determine what it is, the length of the contract that is done, and then do a comparison with the cost for compensation too, for other charter school leaders, based on the criteria that are similar to our school, or if they're higher or lower enrollment or whatever. But have something that's justified, has a rationale for the governing council to consider, that's very specific beforehand, so we can examine it and ask questions.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Sounds like pretty much everything you've got, just
In writing.
upload it and
Yeah, we just
put
need
it in
to
writing and.
reformat.
Yep.
Great. Yeah, I don't have
I
any,
just want to say, this is Dr. Jean, I'm uncomfortable where this conversation has gone down. When I heard Dr. McCullough say we could just walk the door. You know, nobody in education is ever compensated for their true value and worth,
no.
That is true.
in my
That's true.
recollection.
And I'm very humble,
And it
and I
would,
never asked for this, because
it-
it makes me uncomfortable.
yes,
But I think
But
at some point,
but it's
You
not,
guys need to
but it's
recognize
not
that my
you
work, too.
asking. Kyle brought it forth as
Sure.
a report, and so that's a little different. And for a subordinate to bring forth that, if you and Mr. Casey would like to consider a raise, you bring that forth for our review, with the amount of raise that you think is appropriate, the effective time that it will start, and the rationale. And I'd be glad to consider it, but I don't like the way this process has unfolded tonight. That's not how you do business. When we sit down with your contract, we can negotiate with you. It's not for a member of the staff to advocate and present that in a way. Now, they can do that for you, and they can talk to you about what they have found out. But as gentlemen, you come to the table and you negotiate your contract with the board.
Okay.
and
So-
again, I'm very humble about this, and I've never asked for more. But it was brought up to my attention, and it was an item on the agenda, so you were aware that it was on the agenda.
My recommendation is, but you and Casey are part of the administrative staff, you bring up everyone else's compensation for the year, you have to bring up your own, and then just have a rationale that supports it, and let the governing council debate the merit of it and vote on it, that's all.
I
It
have a
shouldn't
question.
be,
So if they're gonna be looking through all that with different schools, just to kind of reflect or to see the difference, would that only be for them, or would that include everybody else in the administration? Just wanted to check on that.
okay,
If we're just talking about them, or we'll be talking about everybody else, depending on their job and the situation, that it will be compared to the other schools.
good question.
Because
That's
as
why
I've been
this
hearing
process
and
is
everything, it
problematic
will
for
be
me. So it's up to the
showing
individual employee,
differences.
the ones that are hired by the
So
board,
you're asking about the
to bring
entire
forth their
administrative staff.
negotiation
Yeah,
to the
that's
board.
what I'm asking.
Anyone else that's employed by the school has a supervisor whom they should bring that up to. So those other administrative staff, they have a supervisor, and that's who they should bring up those concerns about salary and equity to.
Sounds fair.
We did have an administrative salary schedule except for the executive. Do you want to bring that up for
I
next
think
meeting?
we can table that, I move to
Okay.
table.
For next.
Okay, sorry, Dr. Medina, repeat that, please?
I move to table.
Dr.
This
Medina
agenda item.
moves to table this motion for this meeting, maybe with the understanding that at a subsequent meeting, we would have an administrative staff salary schedules presented to us with an underlying rationale, right?
Or I can meet with Dr. Medina in my office and discuss that too.
But at least for the rest of the governing council to have that rationale written down before we vote on it. Okay. Okay, so she's motioned to table. Is there a second? Sylvia has seconded. Is there any discussion? Roll call, Dr. Medina? Roll call,
Yes.
Dr. Medina?
Yes.
Edward Monahan, yes. Sylvia Ferrandino? Yes. Alex Alvarez? Eva Garcia? Naomi Chevalier? Naomi?
She's there, but she's.
Naomi, can you hear? Senora Chevalier?
Pamela Takastengo?
Yes.
Timothy Woodard?
Yes.
Oh, we have 5.
Oh,
There's
Naomi, Naomi.
Oh, good. Okay. Motion passes to table. Okay, it is now 7:23. is Building Hope Financing, Dr. Medina, Dr. McCullough.
So that's what we already talked about.
I included that in my report, so
Okay,
I moved to strike from the agenda.
Oh.
And the vote doesn't have to be roll call on a non-financial matter, so it could be,
It's just
if there's a
discussion.
second,
Consensus?
it'd be
we
acclamation.
all agree by acclamation not to talk about it? Because we
Vote to
already have,
remove from the agenda.
okay, strike the agenda. That's acclamation. I, discussion, charter school program update.
Was there a second to my motion?
We had acclamation,
Second.
sorry. Yeah, did you say?
Yeah, she-
Sylvia seconded it, yes.
Okay, so
We
by
acclaimed.
acclamation then, which meant we don't need to all vote roll call.
Yeah.
It passed.
Yeah.
Struck from the agenda.
Sure. I, charter schools program grant update, CSP.
So we received notification that we will not be receiving the grant we applied for over the summer for CSP, for school expansion. But in talking to, we will get a report, with feedback on what we can do better in the future for this grant. I did talk to Matt Paul today and I brought this up and he said there'll be 3 more rounds for this funding, that we have a big possibility to not be discouraged and reapply. And I think with our renewal and looking at expanding to high school, I think we'll have a better chance. So I'll let you know of the report on October 1st when they release the letters and the feedback.
Thank you. This is a discussion item also. Any questions for Dr. McCullough? Letter J, discussion on Panorama software system.
So that was part of my report earlier, but we did reach out to Panorama and they have agreed to do 25,000 a year for the next 2 years if we choose to continue with them. So that was a question. We decided to go with them for 1 year, and if everything works well and we like it, we'll continue for another 2 years at 25 per year.
I don't think it's an action item because we
It is
did
not.
It's just a
direct you at the
discussion.
last meeting to
Yeah.
negotiate that for us.
It's not, it's
So-
discussion.
I just
It's-
wanted to give you an update.
Okay, it's an update, not an action item.
Right.
Thank you.
Any question for Dr. McCullough? All right, we are on K. It's 7:26. Approval or disapproval of PD registration travel to Guadalajara for a conference for executive director to attend Fanny at the Libro conference from November 30th to December
Or third.
3rd. I saw some information about the conference. I did not see, I might have missed it, the cost for registration and travel and justification.
Está en el proposal.
So yes.
Is it? Because I saw that, both English and Spanish.
So there's the invitation that has been done in the drive. So basically, Books del Sur will be there at the conference and they invited us to go. They'll pay for hotel and meals. And then they gave me some information. I've never been to this conference. I didn't know it existed, but it's one of the most popular conferences in Mexico. And then we created a proposal because Ms. Zaira and Dr. Rivera were also invited by Books del Sur. And it is a conference registration fee for 1,200 per person. And then the flight will be covered by the attendees from Juarez to Guadalajara. And only round trip mileage and parking from here to Juarez will be requested. And the hotel will be covered by Libros del Sur. And then I would be taking my ride by Duco and Ms. Gambilla and Dr. Rivera. Sorry, Casey.
So is
You have to know when
is
to go.
that 3 people times 1,200 or 4 people times 1,200?
4 people times 1,200.
And is it in the current professional development fund?
We do have the funding, yes. And this will be a great opportunity to learn about other books out there in Spanish for our program, especially we're planning on developing a high school program.
Another alternative, because here sometimes you find translated version.
So it's out there in
Once again-
Spanish
Authentic
instead of
literature.
translations.
Yeah. Well, once again, we're having a discussion before the motion, so I move to accept the proposal for international travel for 3 to 4 CDHA employees.
So Dr. Medina has motioned approval
You guys need
of the
to
motion
do the national spelling.
for 3 or 4 3 or 4 staff members to travel to Guadalajara for this conference and reimburse them for $1,200 apiece and that covers registration and meals. Okay, except for lodging, which they're gonna cover.
Parking mileage from here to Juarez.
And then parking and mileage to Juarez. Does anyone have a second?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like other relatives so they could leave their cars there.
Yes.
Okay, so
That's what I usually do. That's what they were gonna
Okay.
say.
I don't.
I will second it.
Okay, so Sylvia seconds it, and then she seconded the motion. Now there's discussion. I'm gonna come back to, I saw this here. I did not know how many people are going, and I don't see a form where it says, this is gonna be this staff member. It's gonna be, this is gonna cost the staff member plus the mileage plus here, and here's the expected cost. That's what I would expect to see as a governing council member. It's still not here. And that's my concern, is that when we bring up things like this, we don't have exact costs for the governing council to consider. It's mostly discussion here. And I think we need to have something on record. So that's my kind of elephant in the room, if you want to say it to Casey. Well, it's not really an elephant because I continually bring it up, that we've got to have background information that must be explicit before we vote on it. And that's my personal take on it. So, and that's the only reason I would vote possibly no on this is because we need to have background information before we vote. Any other comments? By governing councils.
Kyle, you're getting to your job.
Okay, any other comments? Then we'll bring it up to a vote. And Dr. Medina?
Since I made the motion, I have to vote yes.
Okay, Dr. Medina, yes. Dr. Monahan, abstained. Sylvia Ferrandino,
Yes.
yes. Alex Alvarez? Ella Garcia? Noemi Chavere?
Well,
Yes. Pamela Tagastego?
Yes.
And Timothy Woodard?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. All right, that's letter K. Letter L, recommendation of agenda items for October 15th and questions, concerns for Dr. McConnell for governing council. Recommendation for next time. Figure out how we have one document that includes the charter school goals and include the rest of the strategic plan, including those focus areas that you listed on page 28, and see if see what you can put together for us to be able to look at for this year.
Mhm.
When is the retreat again?
October 24th, I believe. Or we can do it there, so you mentioned that.
Yeah, I think we should review the whole strategic plan as a whole, and see which direction we want to go at this retreat on the 24th, and that can be one of the main focus points for that retreat. By that time, we'll have our answer as far as our charter renewal goes,
Okay.
We, no,
November 17th, it's our, Dr. Medina and I would have to go to APS,
right, but when do we have our visit here? The 8th,
October 7th.
7th? Okay,
We have a governing council meeting scheduled, a retreat on the 24th that we agreed to. That's a Friday.
does that coincide with the charter school meeting again?
Yeah, does that or doesn't it? Dr. Medina, do you recall?
Because last year we did it in December and it coincided with the,
We have to come up with, yeah, we've set that as a
No.
time and date.
We didn't, we set the 24th because we were trying to
Yeah.
meet the obligation to have the feedback to the charter school and set our strategic plan,
Yeah.
the application. But
So,
it's not in conjunction with the charter school conference.
The conference is in December,
Right.
mid-December.
so it continues to be.
You got it.
December 10th to 12th.
do we want to push back and do it after the renewal in December? And that way we can, the strategic plan is mostly internal. I mean, there's parts of it within the application, but it doesn't need to necessarily coincide with what's in there.
We did put on there that we plan on focusing on this West End. Right more.
So like I said, it's gonna be a revamp of our current strategic plan, with visions of, of what we're gonna do going
Yeah.
forward.
We expect that many things would change.
Right.
Well, because of things that worked, you may get rid of, but it, or not work to revisit.
Right.
Are we okay still to meet on the 24th or not, as a governing council? And are you gonna be ready to talk about that?
Well, I think we can meet on the 24th, but we might not have this topic area ready just because we won't have the renewal answer yet. I would think it'd be more beneficial to kick it more in the December area.
Can we make a discussion item next meeting in October?
I think the reason we chose the 24th was to have the board goals in sooner in the year than later. That's the only reason we wanted to have the board goals. Because last year we did wait till December. We're like, well, I got half a year to meet all our goals.
So last
But
year's board goals, Dr. Medina, sorry to interrupt, were all of facilities and finance. So we can still do that on the 24th and then maybe perhaps have another retreat in December to discuss a strategic plan and the direction we're gonna go with that.
Well, we have a hard time getting people to meetings, so I
Right,
don't think we could meet twice. I think your point is well taken for December.
And why don't we have a discussion on this at next meeting, make this a discussion item, so that we set up a meeting in December and flesh out what will be the topics.
our next meeting, I'll just so we all know, our next meeting is in October.
Right.
So it's gonna be a quick turnaround if you decide to keep the October
I
24th.
don't think we are.
So I would,
No.
I
We're
would,
not good.
I don't think we are.
I
I
don't think we
don't
are.
think
I
we
would
are. I don't think that's
recommend
good
that
planning.
So
we
if
can
we're,
talk
if
about
we're
it
gonna
next
have the
time,
discussion at the,
Yeah.
but push it to
Okay, so
December.
What we should be talking about now, did you have agenda items and then Dr.
first
Moncada?
item,
Everything that was tabled tonight should be first at the next meeting. Dr. Moncada, I'd like to meet with you prior to the next meeting. If you send me 3 or 4 dates, not a Wednesday, I'd appreciate that. And I'll make my way over to CDHA to talk to you about my concerns.
Sounds good.
So I move to adjourn.
It is now 7:38, and we are adjourning. Thank you all for your participation tonight.
did you guys hear what I was saying?
Mira, Dr. Medina, lo que tengo para Dr. Monahan.
I have that. You'll take the, so you
I already knew he was your favorite. That just confirms it.
Not everyone.
Good night.
Thank you,
Good night.
Dan. Bye-bye. Nos vemos,
Oh, Dr.
doctora.
Monahan.
Bye-bye.
Dr. Monahan,
Ciao.
the other Sylvia had a question.
See, I'm talking loud.
She can't use her normal.
no,
voice for the
I was
day.
saying, if we're gonna have our next meeting on October, why don't we push the to talk about the pushing for a retreat at the beginning of the meeting before everybody else gets disconnected through Zoom. Because everybody has something else to do while they're in Zoom. They're like, we're gonna be leaving within 30 minutes and an hour and a half or so. So just to be able to get everybody at once.
So that goes to Dr. Bacala.
So first on the agenda.
Casey, push
Just
it
wanna
to the
make
front
sure
of
we're
the
on the
agenda.
same.
Put the Wednesday table to the.
Topic of the retreat that's first on the agenda before everyone. I think we should probably make it coincide with the charter school conference, and then we can break out like we did last year. That seems handy. There was food, there was drinks, we could steal candies from the vendors.
And could you also, I mean, we can talk about it next meeting, maybe you can put together the data from, you'll receive all the 24, 25 data too by then.
Yes.
You kind of show the progress, and they talk about how we achieved. That we could use that.
See, that would be nice.
So you want to